why are you have your pants so far down that you walking funny? And you know the thing
How you
about
gonna run from the cops?
Listen. We're gonna cut that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Falling Forward. We're back here with Sis, who goes by Carm. We're back here with Dr. Xeturah Woodley. So we are so happy to be back here together. We are going to be talking about our greatness here at the table. Right. We are so great here. Do you know why? Because we black.
Okay.
And something else, we're black women. Mm-hmm. And we were born black women. Mm-hmm.
And we are the most educated population in the United States.
Right now, coming out of people getting master's degrees, PhDs, we're seeing a huge number, a large number. We become the predominant group of people coming out with PhDs, with master's degrees, a lot of higher education degrees.
But guess what? We get paid. We get paid pennies.
Yeah, we don't get paid our worth. But I did want to say a little ADHD moment. We also the most single population because we are not messing with those fools. We got our education and we like, no, we ain't dating no fool. We gonna be single.
Well, making choices. You got choices you can make.
We gotta weed out.
I actually think that part of it, there are groups of us. The majority of, I don't know that the majority of black women come out with degrees and decide that they're not going to couple up. I think, though, that some of us do make a decision that we're going to either only choose relationships that really make a difference for us or that really meet us where we're at. I think that's what it is.
And we're willing to sacrifice having a relationship in order to
do that.
Do what we do.
Well, and I think it's that looking at being goal driven. Sometimes mm-hmm. It's just like, if you ain't with me, you against me. If you're pushing me back, then you ain't pushing me forward.
Right.
So, and I think sometimes, and I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing at all, but you got to determine what your own values are.
I agree.
What is it that you value and what is it that you want in life? Mm-hmm. And it's okay that every black woman mm-hmm. or a person in general don't want to get married.
I think part of it goes back to what we were talking about in that last time that we got together, mm-hmm. this whole notion of there's these tests for whether you're a good black person or not. There are all these tests for whether you're a good black woman or not. Mm-hmm. And one of those tests is about your ability to couple up, right? And you must have children. And if you make a conscious decision not to do those things, then they call into question your black womanhood. And I think that's part of the way in which we've been socialized and conditioned as black people is to question our womanhood based on who we're with and how many babies we produce.
What about the whole angry black woman? That I think that we get labeled as that too much too. Mm-hmm. Especially when you don't want to put up with BS. Mm-hmm. We gotta be. So I'm angry because I refuse to participate in such outrageous behavior.
Well, the thing about it is, it's even that neglect of the passion in which we speak. Mm-hmm. I am allowed to speak impassionately mm-hmm. if you do something that impassions me. Mm-hmm. Period. I'm not here to code switch for you, boo. Mm-hmm. If you want somebody to perform for you, mm-hmm. please go watch a movie because I am not the one for you. Go pay someone to do it mm-hmm. because I know. I've been in spaces and a part of bureaucratic groups in which, they expect you to perform a certain way. And I was at a board meeting, I'm on the counseling board, and someone had the audacity to tell me, well, even if you're upset, you need to act professionally. Well, I am acting professionally. Mm-hmm. I'm professionally telling you. Exactly. True. I'm professionally telling you that I'm pissed off and I'm upset. And based on that specific thing,
have those emotions.
And it's okay for me to have that emotion because I'm not here to perform for you. Right. If y'all want to perform for each other, you do you, boo. Mm-hmm. And then once you go home crying and all up in a knot mm-hmm. because you have not expressed yourself, then right. you can also blame that on you.
So Audre Lorde put it this way. She said, as black women, it doesn't matter how softly you speak. It doesn't matter how quiet you are in the delivery of the message. if you disagree, or if the other person listening disagrees with what you're saying, they
Add whatever
stereotype you, right, as if you are
The
this
problem.
angry black woman. It doesn't matter what you say, it's because you're saying something, you're talking back. Bell Hooks referred to it as talking back, right? So you're talking back, and talking back is not okay if you're a black woman. And so I think that's part of where that angry black woman stereotype comes from. And I do think that it works against us in a lot of cases, but I think it works for us in some cases.
Yep. Don't mess with her. She ain't gonna people help you your stuff.
Well,
Well,
the thing
that's all I'm
about
saying.
it is, and it draws that line in the sand. It's a boundary.
It's a
So
boundary,
if you're saying that you're not comfortable enough to even approach me and ask me and engage with me about it, then you don't need to be in my space anyway. So, I mean, we're good because you stay over there, I stay over here. And guess what? My world over here is happy. Like, my world over here is how it needs to be. And that doesn't mean that there doesn't need to be any updates, reflections, or whatever
Or
on
growth
how
or
we
anything,
move
yeah.
or speak. But it's this ideal that we feel as though we have to perform for people, and that's exhausting.
Yeah.
And that's what the issue with code switching is.
Yeah,
it's
exhausting.
exhausting.
You know, I
It
know
is.
people
It is.
who actually go to work and they talk totally different. I'm
Yeah.
talking about what they don't have their black accent anymore.
Yeah.
They look hello. I can't do it. Don't ask me. I'm not good at accents, so let's just ignore that. But they do say hello differently.
Hello.
And yeah, it's like a Medea thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, how they do it. But they like literally, how if you listen to them talk outside, you wouldn't even know that's the same person,
Right.
unless you. Is that you? Yeah, that's the only way you know.
But that becomes a survival mechanism.
It is.
Right?
It is.
And so when we talk about, we were talking earlier off camera, but we were talking earlier about how we don't get paid the same amount of money. We don't get promoted at the same rate.
Respect. We don't get it.
You don't garner the same respect. People don't want to call you doctor, right? And so you learn ways of surviving in order to make it in the system. And that would be one of the ways in which you learn to make it in the system. You code switch.
And
If
that's
you-
why
you don't
I
wanna
got
be
my own
seen as
business.
an angry black woman.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I think when it comes down to that too, is no, you don't want to be seen as the angry black woman, but it also comes to this ideal of a lack of cultural awareness.
Because
in
we
an
have strong
environment.
matriarchal family. You got the grandmas that's been holding it down, like your grandma.
Correct.
And holding it down when your parents don't hold it down. You know what I mean? So we definitely have a strong black women within our culture because we had to. And that could be stemmed from like our last episode, how we had to remove the men from the family in order to get some support from the government. You know, there's a lot of things that play into what we are as we are now, you know, but you know, we just need to, I know that I'm guilty of code switching. Definitely. I stopped doing it as much, and people probably think I should code switch more. I think
People
Christine
think I
should.
should code switch
I
more.
definitely think Christine should. Because I remember getting on her, you wearing that to a conference? Christine look cute wherever she go. But I'm thinking, hey, you know, wear some long pants, you know, look like a nun. Christine like, no sirree, I'm wearing
Right.
exactly what I want to wear.
Right. I think there is at some point as black women, we choose to value ourselves and we attribute worth to our own selves. And it's in those moments when you value and really attribute your own sense of worth that you don't care what other
And
people
I
think.
love that.
And you don't care what other people, and then you transform who you be in those professional spaces, whether it's a conference or a business, right? Or if you can't, if the system, I explain it like this, homeostasis, right? Every system wants to be homeostatic. It wants everything to be the same.
Have the balance.
Have that balance. And if it doesn't have the balance, you inject something new, the system will either grab onto
Right,
what's
or
new and make
reject
it fill it in, or it'll
It tries
reject
to
it,
pull
or
you in back to where the
or
static was. Yeah.
right. It's like a thermostat, right? It tries to pull you back. Well, when you start valuing yourself and see your own sense of self-worth, then you say, that system may not even be for me anymore.
And that's
Which
what
goes back to what you were saying about your business.
And that's what I learned from Christine, especially working at her business. And it's a blessing because we all can dress who we feel that we are. We do not have to act any certain way up in this place, except who we are and be the authentic selves that we are. And she's created a culture where people feel comfortable doing
Yep.
that. And that is where work should be. Because when we're in our acting as ourselves and comfortable in ourselves, we're doing a better job at work. Because
agree.
code switching is exhausting.
I agree.
It is, and I
agree.
think even
agree.
speaking into that, it's like it doesn't matter. That doesn't mean there's no room for correction.
Yeah.
So if you're using a disrespectful terminology towards your job,
Yeah.
well, that's the job you applied for, and
you've
that's
been
the
working.
job you got. So if you don't want to do X, Y, Z as a part of your job and want to speak about it in negative terminology, then that will be corrected because you asked for this job. This is what you signed up for. So it's like, take pride, be an owner in what it is you do. If you're not going to be an owner in what it is you do,
Don't do it.
what is the point of doing it?
Because you're not
And
gonna
I
do it
think,
all the way.
because, and I feel
I
like,
agree.
especially speaking to and speaking for young Black women as a whole, it is important that we are one of the most educated groups, or are the most educated group. It is important that we do get called Dr. Ross while still wearing my
Don't
J's.
say, hey, oh, you can
I
just
agree.
call me Christine. No.
Yeah.
You're going to call me Dr. Ross, and one day I'm going to be called Dr. Ross, or I can just change my name to Dr. Ross. I don't know.
Yeah.
know.
Whichever.
I
You could,
think that
you
might
can
be the
put
easiest way.
Dr. Carmen, and that's your whole first name.
See, I like that.
If you don't need a PhD, so here's the latest thing I'm on with people. If you don't need the PhD, don't go and get that PhD. Get something like an honorary degree awarded to you, which people with honorary degrees still get called doctor. It doesn't apply to the work that they do.
But it's still.
It's a doctor, which
So
you want
how
to
do
be
you
called
get an
as a
honor?
doctor.
I'm gonna have to write where's a piece of paper at? How do you have
Listen,
an
she will
honorary
give us
degree?
less headaches if she got the honorary.
It would give me less
Please,
headache.
somebody give her honorary
Yes. So
degree.
I'm accepting honorary
Honorary
doctorates.
doctorate.
So if you want my application, please email me or send me something.
I will second her. I'm in her character witness as to what she deserves. Well, but I think it's still what it comes down to is that we have different people in different spaces.
Yeah.
And representing all of us in every space that we are, and thinking that, oh, I have to lose who I am because I decided to sit in a specific space.
But we're
that should
required
not
to
have
do that
be.
so much in corporate America, especially as Black women. You cannot be a Black woman. You can, but it's awful hard to be a Black woman on corporate America and be able to act your whole self. Code switching is a part of corporate America.
I think, again, it goes back to what you were both talking about at some point you choose you choose yourself. But if you choose yourself, that may look like starting your own business
Yeah,
and
you
not
gotta
being
go.
in those
Yeah,
same spaces.
yeah, you gotta go with what that comes along with. Because even with us, all of us have locks in our hair.
Yes.
Guess what? There are some institutions right now, and I'm speaking to y'all, that say that this is not okay.
It's not
And we
professional.
cannot
Yeah,
get
it's not-
hired. We'll have to cut it off. They just let you do it in the military. They have locks, I think. It was a long time law that you couldn't, well, a rule at least. But they can say, hey, we can't fire you. We will fire you, or you're not going to get this job if you have locks, and they can do that legally in America.
And of course, because we have locks right now, the hair looks, and I hate to say it like this, more tamed because it is nice in these slick lines. But women who have wearing their hair fully natural without a lock there, then it can be our hair is very expressive. So if you're not of Black culture or a similar culture that has our type of hair, then how you see people with the big hair is how their hair grows out their head.
That's
So
natural.
it's just like me going to some of my white friends or Latinx friends and saying, you need to change your hair. It needs this, that, and the third. And you're saying, well, that's how it grows out of my hair. So we literally have people in corporate America telling us that we cannot wear our hair
The
how
natural
it
way.
comes out.
We have people at the airport. So I was at the airport in Denver, and this woman came up to me. I had my locks down like I did in our last episode, right? I have my locks are long. And she came up to me and she was like, is that heavy? And I said, is what heavy? Thinking she was talking about some other part of me, like some other,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, is what heavy? And so she was like, your hair, that hair. And I said, well, let's see, I've been carrying it all of my life. I mean, it's long right now, but it's not super. I said, is yours? Because she had long hair. And she goes, yeah, but mine is real. And I
That
said,
is, and we get that all the
I
time.
said, now let me just break this to you. Mine is real too.
Yeah, I grew
It's
it out my
what
head.
God gave me from the root to the tip. This all came like this. And she goes, it's real? And I'm like, yeah, I have
Like
long
black
hair.
people can't grow hair.
There
Right.
is a huge assumption there, though, because
It
I've
is.
had, and my hair's not even that long, and somebody asked me,
Yeah.
was this my hair?
I've had
And
black
I'm
people
just-
ask me, was that my
yes,
hair?
It's
Yeah.
like,
I'm like, what is wrong with you?
yes.
I think it's part of the culture. So if we look at beauty standards for black women,
We see weaves.
we see a lot of weaves. We see a lot of people not embracing the notion of having natural hairstyles. My hair, your hair, our hair is a natural hairstyle, right? And natural does not mean, for a lot of people, for them it means, did you get Indian hair, like hair from India?
Was it
to
human
weave
hair?
in? Was it human hair?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Uh-huh.
Could you get human hair, and did you get that natural human hair, someone else's natural hair, and have it weaved into your head?
This is grown. This is homegrown.
And that's part of culture, right? As we talk about pop culture, that's popular culture. You look at the examples of black womanhood that are put up before us as what's beautiful. It's people with fake eyelashes, with lots of makeup, blonde,
straight hair.
long straight hair, blonder the better, the thinner the
Eurocentric.
features,
Yeah.
the better. It's like this whole part of our culture has shifted back to this idealization of black women that can pass rather than black women who are on purpose looking the way that God created.
And not to talk about colorism, how people are lighting up their skin in different countries.
That is
the
true.
soap you get has bleach in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
listen. I don't know if I said this on one of the shows. I had went to India for a month back in college. And I had got this soap. It was a sandalwood soap. And I intentionally tried to make sure this did not have any bleach on it. I get back home. I'm like, why are all my towels changing colors? and then I finally, it's the soap. But of course, I had went through a few towels, and now I need to even out the color of the towel.
So I'm going to use the soap a little bit longer.
But with that being said, when we talk about features in general of black culture, and even when we talk about black culture music that we want to consider, which, by the way, is the biggest consumer of rap hip hop music is the white people. I'm talking to y'all, but I digress. But I say that because you want the features that are a black steeple, but you don't want the color.
Yeah.
So, and that's a problem when we say, I'm going to take everything you have, the booty, the hips, the thighs, all this stuff, but don't give me the color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't give me the color.
That's crazy.
And I think, and then when we look at that informing, that color informs how much they would have paid me.
But then you got people tanning. That confuses the hell out of me. Somebody could have to explain that to me in some comments.
And though black
Explain
people
tanning.
do tan at times.
I got
But
that.
to your
Somebody need to tell
point,
me about that.
like, you know, you don't want to wake up black. You want to be as dark as you can be without crossing the line.
I think that's the difference, right? And so it's the white people have forms of colorism as well. That's why a white person will look at another white person and say, man, you're so white, you need to get some sun, right? You need to go and tan. That's a form of hueism, of colorism. Right? So it's acceptable, just like you said, it's acceptable to get to a certain point of darkness because then you're more valued as beautiful, especially if you're a woman. If you're a white woman and you have a little bit of a tan, you're seen as more beautiful because you have that glow about you, right? But don't become a black woman. Don't get to the point where people might mistake you for black because then you'll experience a whole different side of it. So, yeah.
No, to that point, because I remember, Carmen might remember this. We went to a friend's house and I think we were doing something with makeup or something like that. I can't say. But literally, and this for real had to been 10 years ago. For real. But I could be lying. So we ain't going to mark anything. But she was arguing with me about if I wore makeup. I don't wear makeup. Y'all would know if I had makeup on because I would probably look like a clown. Because I have no clue how to put it on. Now,
Same here.
my lip gloss game is on point. my chapstick game is on point. I might be able to put a little bit of mascara on. I might be able to do that.
Oh, Mama puts
some lipstick
on her
She's
cheek line.
for the what
Yeah,
is
for
it?
the
That,
blush.
the
blush, yeah.
So, but I say that because I'm like, literally, it was like a 10-minute argument about if I wear makeup.
And
So
me and
then
Christine,
we washed our faces. See, there's no makeup on.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with wearing makeup at all. But me and Carmen specifically didn't grow up like
Our
that.
whole family, like I can say our Kansas City family, we don't generally wear makeup. And even today, when you look at us now, we all have natural hair. Like we're rocking our natural hair,
It's
whether
just
it's
a different standard of beauty.
Yeah. And we still
So-
think we're beautiful. Yeah.
It's
Can't
just a
nobody
different
tell me
standard of
nothing
beauty.
different. Listen.
I know. I know.
Well, but and I think it comes down to the fact, and this also goes to some of our prior episodes, is what do you think of you?
Yeah.
You
absolutely.
cannot always allow culture to shape who you are and what your belief is about yourself. You have to allow yourself to shape the culture.
Yes, but it's gonna it's gonna rock the boat. Just know that. And it's okay to rock the boat because the boat needs to be rocked.
And I feel like all of us have got into that judgment place that's like, oh, I can't believe they wore that. And then I always check myself.
Yep.
They do
praise
them.
God that
Right.
you have felt comfortable enough with yourself.
Yeah.
Because I ain't that
you wore
comfortable, I'm telling you
because I'm
that.
trying to move that way.
Yeah,
I'm trying to move that way.
I'm not.
Well,
So here's the thing. I'm not trying to look. Just because they make it in my size does not mean I'm gonna wear it.
Right.
But I value your opportunity to choose to do that. I value
And your
that.
confidence.
Good
and
for
what,
you.
What I say when I'm trying to move that way is that at the end of the day,
Right.
what I am comfortable with is what I'm comfortable with.
Right.
So
Right.
even
I
challenging
agree.
my own box norms.
I agree.
But I agree with you. It's like some stuff like I love y'all women, but I don't want to see your booty every day. I don't.
I just can't.
Like,
And
you
you
know,
know what?
there's a lot of people that might want to see your booty, but
I
I
just
don't.
don't.
I don't.
Yeah,
and
I
I don't want to
can't.
see men's draws all the time.
Oh, I
either.
agree.
no, I don't either.
I'm sorry. I don't
Uh-huh.
want to see your colorful drawers. Why are you wearing? I don't know
Why
why your
are
drawers are
you
pink.
have your pants so far down that you walking funny? And you know the thing
How you
about
gonna
it,
run from the cops?
you,
understand.
No.
listen,
no.
listen. We're gonna
That
cut
was
that.
stereotypical. I'm just saying.
Y'all learn nothing in my class. Oh,
No, but to Carmen's point though, it's like you're making yourself a prime target of somebody who's gonna rob you. Is what I was gonna say. Carmen took the cops way too far.
I'm sorry. That was inappropriate.
that is funny. No, it's funny. It's funny.
Well, you know what? I would just we got to wrap up this show, you guys. Next show, I promise we're going to stay on topic, but we got two ADHD people here. That is going to be hard as hell.
2.5.
So, 2.5. So, thank you guys. Thank you, Xeturah Woodley, for joining us.
Thank
And check out our next episode. We're going to have Dr. Woodley with us next time.
Thanks, guys.